there are people who always use the word God's will, or it is not God's will, to cover up their mistakes, to cover up their laziness. For example, somebody has failed doing something. Then this person will tell you, maybe God did not plan. They use the word God's will as an excuse of everything. Some people just decide not to read, then they fail exam. Then they say, maybe God did not plan. They mess up with their relationship. They mess up with their marriages. They mess up with their job. And yet, most of the time you hear them saying, oh, maybe it's not God's will. It is true, at times it's not God's will. But at times it's carelessness. Somebody was going somewhere. He overspeed. And accident happens. This person will tell you, maybe it's not God's will. God did not want us to reach a certain destination. Somebody was supposed to go to point A, but due to procrastination, due to laziness, he decided to remain at point B. When you ask such a person, he tells you, I think it is God's will. While God's will applies in most cases, while God can stop you doing something, at times it's always good to try. At times it's always good to push yourself to the limit. Then if it doesn't happen, then it's easy for you to say it's not God's will. But rather than staying in one place, not trying anything, rather than having a lot of excuses, rather than procrastinating everything, then say it's God's will. When you see such a person, every time they mess, or every time things does not go well, and they say it's God's will, it's good to advise them, sometimes it's not God's will. Sometimes they need to pray more. Sometimes they need to fast. Sometimes they need to sacrifice more. Sometimes they need to dig deep to see if there are evil altars stopping them from doing something, rather than staying in comfort zone and saying it's God's will, or it's not God's will for them to do what they wanted to do.